Hey, good morning, everyone. Sunday morning. You know, what a better time to do a wrestling podcast. Z Wrestle Talk Radio. The host, Dom, and my co-host, Mike. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
I'm doing great, brother. You know, I just listened to, a little video that What Culture did about Dean Ambrose being lazy. Because for those of you who didn't know, about 2 weeks ago, Dean Ambrose and The Miz had an interview in the ring, a promo, and Miz came out and said that Dean was lazy, complacent. And a lot of people came out and said, Dave Metzer, that it's exactly what WWE Creative think right now of Dean Ambrose, that he's lazy. So I had to do a podcast about it because I'm like, no, it can't be real. Because we all remember also about a year ago, Dean Ambrose did a podcast on the Stone Cold with Steve Austin.
That's right.
And we were on vacation back then. When we came back, we had all that backlash. And when I listened to the podcast, I was like, no, it wasn't bad. Then I re-listened, and it was almost, to me, like Austin and an agenda put out by Vince to call out Dean and to try to, make him fire up, and take charge,
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's what you think too?
Yeah.
And to me, Dean was taken aback because he's a very laid-back guy when he's not in the ring. And he's also a guy that doesn't like to be told what to do. He's very respectful. He's very genuine outside the ring. If you know him, he's a guy that doesn't bother anybody. He does his own thing. Very well liked by the guys in the dressing room. Yes. And the point is that calling him lazy when he's the hardest fucking working guy in the old fucking WWE, that gets my blood boiling, man. And it makes me fucking mad.
Like you were saying last month before WrestleMania, when he was on the pre-show at WrestleMania, instead of being on the main card, it was insulting to him because he worked all year long in the house shows on the main events, and he has to be on the pre-show for WrestleMania. It's unbelievable.
It is. Yeah. But you have some kiss-ass, that do nothing all year, and all they do is do media tours, and they have a big push.
Or the part-timers just show up once a year, and they wrestle at WrestleMania, like The Undertaker.
Exactly.
Or like Brock Lesnar or Goldberg. They don't wrestle very often.
Shane O'Mac, it's a different animal because I love Shane so much, and Shane is a giver. When he gets in the ring, like he did, like I said before, if you listen to the pre-podcast that we did for WrestleMania, I said it. You can listen back. I said exactly what was going to happen. He would steal the show with AJ, and he did his job to make AJ look good. Oh, yeah. It was an awesome match, and that's what Shane does. But besides that, the guys like Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, to a certain extent, Undertaker, they have nothing left to show us. Brock is basically now just doing his lazy fucking back suplex that anybody can do. And besides his S5, or maybe, when he jumped over the spear of Goldberg, but basically...
The leapfrog, yeah.
Basically, he does nothing.
I know.
He does absolutely nothing. He doesn't talk. That's lazy.
He doesn't have to with Paul Heyman.
I know, buddy, but that's lazy. That's fucking lazy.
I know.
But are WWE going to call Brock Lesnar lazy?
Never.
Oh, no.
Never.
No. He's a big money maker. Well, what? When he's on Raw, the ratings don't go up?
Well, no, what?
Not at all.
That's right.
No one makes the ratings go up.
No.
It's the same fucking wrestling fans that keep watching the show.
No one can make the ratings go up like they used to be in the old days.
No.
Even if it was Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock, anybody nowadays could not make the ratings go up because it's a different era now.
Exactly, and the thing is that no matter who's on Raw, whether it's Cena, Brock Lesnar, bring back Undertaker, it doesn't matter. CM Punk, I'd like to see it, but I don't know if the ratings would go up, maybe a little bit because of the exposure and everything.
In the beginning,
but
then it go down.
Exactly. The fact of the matter is, calling Dean Ambrose, if anybody... I'm not privy to what really happens backstage.
Well, no.
Like the guy from What Culture said, maybe he doesn't like to do media appearances. Well, then you got all those fucking guys that love to do it.
Like John Cena.
Like The Miz. Like my good friend Titus O'Neil. He loves to do the media tours and stuff like that. Roman Reigns. Yeah. So those guys that don't get a lot of exposure on TV, like Darren Young.
Exactly.
Maybe Curtis Axel do more media tour.
Exactly.
And Dean, just leave him wrestle. He's been wrestling 250 nights for the past 5 years, main eventing every fucking house show everywhere, wrestling 25 minutes while Breezango wrestled 2 minutes. Not their fault. No. But if you take the amount of wrestling in the ring that he's done over the past 5 years compared to Brock Lesnar, you got maybe an hour compared to 5,000 hours
Oh, yeah.
for Dean, and I'm pitching in the air. I haven't done any math, but go figure it out. He wrestles 255 times a year, 20, 25, 30 minutes.
We know it's a lot, of course.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's not big high flyer or whatever, but in this day and age, he does his move very good. He sells very well. What he does well. He reminds me a little bit of Jack of all trades. He's not great at anything, but he's good at everything.
Yeah.
He can jump from the top rope, but he's no Neville.
He can jump through the ropes outside the ring.
Yeah, but not like, let's say, Big E or Seth Rollins. But he does everything pretty good.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a Chris Jericho in his prime, Not the best at anything, but very good at everything. Well, except that Jericho is the best ever, like I said before. The total package.
The difference with Jericho is Jericho is good on the mic.
But that's where I want to go, too.
Ambrose, not great.
Brother, that's why I don't agree with you, because now they follow the fucking script.
He's good, but he's not great.
They give him that character to do, and he does it very good. The kind of funny, wisecrack guy,
It's not his fault, I know that.
But if they let him go and let him do what he did on the independent scene, he would be like the Attitude Era. So he can't, because he was, I don't know if you've listened to some interviews that Dean did back in the day, or if you listened to some Kevin Owens back when he was Kevin Steen. Those guys were swearing up and down, and they were very, very hardcore.
Obviously, they can't swear in WWE.
Exactly.
I know.
But I think that is Lunatic Fringe. Like this week, he always makes me laugh. And you're with me watching Raw, he makes you laugh too. He's very funny.
Oh, of course.
And he's got that, quick wit, like this week with Chris Jericho, to me, he stole the show. And he said, I can give you $15,000 back because I kind of was a bad week at the blackjack table.
Yeah.
But then he gave him that jacket that he probably bought at the dollar store and Christmas lights all around it. That was very funny.
Yeah.
And he actually became the first person ever to what? The first guy in the history of the WWE to
take it off the list.
To be unmade of the list of Jericho.
To be removed from the list.
So, Dean, congratulations. You became the first guy ever to unmade the list of Jericho.
But I'm not sure, because after he left, it seemed that Jericho put him back on the list.
Oh, okay. So, you're the first person ever to unmade the list and make the list again.
Unbelievable.
So, double congrats, Dean.
That's right.
So, I think he does a very good job what he's being given, like they said, they're giving a little bit of free will to do the promo and to make it their own. But they still have to follow if Dean came out and started swearing up and down and do his, he would be chewed backstage by Vince and by everybody. They'll probably cut the promo before time and cut to a message.
They cut the mic.
Exactly.
Of course.
So even the famous pipe bomb of CM Punk was not a fucking pipe bomb.
You can see that no, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was planned, of course.
Everything was planned. It was a fault. A lot of it came from CM Punk, but I mean, it was scripted.
Of course. Yeah.
He had the okay.
Of course, he wouldn't have done it if it wasn't okay.
He would have cut the minute he sat down,
Exactly.
And Cena in the ring looking absolutely stupid.
They control all of the sounds, so they can cut the mic anytime. Of course, it's not very hard.
Exactly, and so just I don't want to do the whole podcast about it, but I just want to say that.
And another thing about Dean Ambrose is I can't believe tonight at Payback he's not even there.
That's an example that he was switched.
Wow.
But then if he's not a payback card, why was he the focus of Raw this week on the Go Home show?
And now you're going to have
when E and Miz are not on the card and they were the focus of the whole show
I know,
on Raw.
That's what I'm saying. And now tonight on the Payback kickoff show, they're going to have Miz TV with Finn Balor.
You know what I think? I think it's going to turn out to be a match.
I don't know.
I think it's going to turn out to be a match, brother. I think so. Because I really think that it's going to turn out to be a match. I'm sorry, the volume of the TV just kicked off. So I think it's going to turn out to be a match. Maybe Balor and Dean against Miz and somebody else.
I hope so.
It can be Bray because he's in the House of Horrors, but it could be somebody else. Could be, I don't know.
I hope so, because it's unbelievable. The IC champ is not even there.
Exactly, but it was made when they made the brand sweat show.
I know.
But still, I think that not being on the main WrestleMania main card was insulting.
Well, yeah.
Yet at the same time,
last month, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have a great match. I agree that Dean and
Baron Corbin wasn't the greatest match.
The only time I could say maybe he was a little bit lazy was in that match.
Yeah.
because you could see that both guys were pissed.
I think they were pissed, yeah.
They were pissed, legitimately pissed.
They were supposed to be on the main card, then it was changed at the last minute.
And then to make way for a fucking women's match and nobody cares, not even their mothers, Ooh, the fucking...
Unbelievable.
Who cares, about women wrestling besides maybe a few people? I don't like women's wrestling. I hate it. So I've always said it. If you follow me on Twitter or anything, I respect them. Charlotte's a great athlete, but I don't like women's wrestling.
Of course.
So, but I mean, to take the match of Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin and put him on the pre-show, I would have been pissed too.
Well, yeah. Me too.
I would have been pissed too, and that's what happens, when you... I know you get in dugouts for no reason, but I think that Dean should be okay. He'd be okay. He's a hard worker.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a great character, and I don't think he's lazy. I think the fucking creative is lazy. The whole WWE creative is lazy.
Exactly.
Because they don't know shit they don't know anything.
Well, no.
They don't know their nose from their asshole.
Exactly.
Those guys are failed Hollywood writers. They get out there, they write fucking shitty segments. It's a go-home show for payback, and nothing is made to make the pay-per-view look bigger or whatever.
I know. Why do you think those writers work for WWE and not
Hollywood? Because they suck and they don't charge a lot of money.
If they were good, they'd be in Hollywood.
Yeah, and they don't charge a lot of money. They're cheap. I'd rather have just Triple H and a few guys. You take a guy like Razor Ramon, like Scott Hall.
Well, like he used to be.
And then you mix it up with younger guys like Paul London or a guy like Brian Kendrick. Or maybe a guy like the two kids, who were in the back, J&J. Joe Mercury, and Jamie Noble. And then you mix it up with older guys like maybe Undertaker, Mark Calloway,
Shawn Michaels,
Mark Henry. And then you have those guys, right?
Exactly.
The angles and the storyline.
Be a lot better.
Be a lot better.
Like in the old days, you only had Vince McMahon with Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, and that's it.
And they give them only a bone, and then they have to pick all the meat around it.
And now they have over 20 writers. Unbelievable.
Back then, they were giving okay, you got 10 minutes. Yeah. This is what we want you to say, but you can say the way you want to.
Right, bullet points.
Bullet points.
That's all they had. They didn't have a script.
Do you think now that a guy like Dean Ambrose would have thrived back in the day? Of course he would.
Oh yeah.
Or a guy and the guys that are not that good in the ring would have been put up with a manager like Roman.
Exactly.
He probably would have had a guy like Bobby Heenan with him.
Yeah.
But these days, maybe you can put a guy like I like the idea now of maybe having Titus become a manager.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not having Titus recruit all those guys like Apollo Crews, Bull Dallas, and have a stable?
Curtis Axel.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Why not?
It's better than nothing.
Better than doing nothing. Exactly.
And I think that in a way, it's important to make everybody relevant on your roster. Important.
Well, yeah. Why are you there? You have to be relevant, of course. If you're not relevant...
you pay the guys anyway.
What's the point?
You pay Bo Dallas.
Well, yeah.
And he's doing fuck all. Sitting backstage on Raw. Use him.
I know.
Making him maybe 1 minute squash matches and then have him maybe have an upset and win the IC title. Yeah. Or whatever, Make it like we want to watch and go, oh, what's going to happen? Like they did with Breezango this week on SmackDown.
Exactly.
Kudos to my good friend Road Dogg, Jesse James, Brian James. Wow, what a great thing you did, man. Now we're excited to see the Usos against Breezango. It's a fresh matchup,
Look at Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, even though I think he sucks in the ring, I think at least it's good to have
something different.
Something different. I'd rather see Jinder Mahal against Randy Orton. Well, I hate Randy Orton, but I'd rather have Jinder Mahal against Randy Orton than have Kane against Randy Orton, right?
Exactly.
Or, to me, it's like at least they're doing something with somebody. They're trying something.
Fresh, yeah.
Something fresh.
Yeah.
And it's, so tonight, Payback.
Yes.
Payback, and very excited about the pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a great pay-per-view.
I hope so.
Even though it's a Raw-branded pay-per-view, there's guys from SmackDown, like the House of Horror match.
Because of the shake-up they had between Raw and SmackDown, that's why, yeah.
What do you think? Who's going to win the match? Now it's a non-title match. I think Bray's going to win it.
I think Bray has to win. If it's non-title, yeah. Why would he lose?
Yeah, I think Bray will win, maybe with some help.
Yeah.
But he win.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's going to be a good match.
I think Bray will win.
We'll start in the House of Horror, probably pre-taped, and then it will finish up in the ring.
Yeah.
Kind of like they did with Goldust and Roddy Piper at WrestleMania.
Exactly. It was pre-taped, and then they finished in the ring, yeah.
Yeah, years ago.
Yep.
And then on the pre-show, you're going to have my guys, my favorite tag team, Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
My second favorite tag team after the Revival.
Yeah.
And facing up against the Good Brothers, or how do you call them, the Club, Gallows and Anderson, whatever.
Yeah.
I love the big dudes. So I think it's going to be a very entertaining match, and I think that I'd love to see Enzo and Cass win for once, but at this point, with their character over as they are, I don't really think it matters.
I think the Club is going to win,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're... I don't see why they would split Enzo and Cass, since they're probably the number 3 best sellers, merch sellers in the company, behind Roman and...
I think it's too soon
and New Day.
Yeah, it's too soon for that.
It's too soon. There's still a lot of mileage there.
Oh, yeah, and they sell a ton of merchandise, of course.
So I would keep them together. So maybe win for Enzo and Cass right now.
I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be good. Good for them.
It'd be good for them, yeah.
And then the tag team title match, the Hardy Boys against the my third favorite tag team, Cesaro.
Yeah.
Cesaro and Sheamus. And I really love the chemistry these guys have. But to me, I hope, I think the Hardy's going to win, but I hope Cesaro and Sheamus will lose tonight.
Yeah.
Make a heel turn. And win maybe at the next pay-per-view, so we can have something very special coming out at SummerSlam, which would be Cesaro and Sheamus against the Revival.
Oh, wow.
Would be a match of the year candidate, in my opinion. Probably the 4 best wrestlers in the company.
Yeah.
I think it would be a show-stealing match. Definitely. And for those who say Cesaro doesn't have the push he deserves, I think right now he's enjoying his time with Sheamus. There's great chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
And as much as people say Cesaro is underrated and blah, 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 well, to me, even though he's had a world title reign not that long ago, I think that Sheamus is also underrated because he's good in the ring, absolutely gold on the mic, very cool guy, and I think he's doing a tremendous job tag teaming with Cesaro. They're the 2 strongest guy in the company.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think they're going to do a heel turn tonight.
Probably after the match, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to have Cesaro and Sheamus cut loose and be, like trying to destroy everybody.
Definitely, yeah.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
You could have the Cesaro swing, and then he puts him up a little bit higher, and Sheamus kicked the guy's head with the roll kick.
Wow.
No, he killed people. No, that's not a good idea. But you can do it with a dummy. No wrestlers. But it's going to be a good match. A lot of good matches tonight. I'm more excited about tonight's card than WrestleMania card.
Yeah.
Damn. Kevin Owens against Chris Jericho. Well, of course, Kevin's going to win. Chris is leaving after tomorrow night's Raw, but
yeah, but it's going to be a good match.
I would, if I was there live, I would be chanting, "Please never retire" to Chris Jericho. How about what an extraordinary performance
that's incredible.
he did on this last one?
Yeah, really incredible. Yeah, he's had a great career.
He's had a great career in his last one, with the new catchphrases, the list of Jericho, stupid idiot, the it.
It's amazing.
It's absolutely incredible. The guy is a genius.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So it's going to be a great match, and I think it's going to be probably Chris being destroyed. Or else they want to have, you can't win, then lose tomorrow. I don't know. I think Kevin's going to win.
Kevin has to win.
Yeah.
Because next month is going to be Kevin Owens against AJ Styles.
Exact.
Yeah.
Exact. And there's no Kalisto, right, in the card tonight?
I don't think so. No.
It sucks.
I know.
Because he just beat Braun Strowman, right?
I know. Yeah, really, yeah. But then he got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think Braun Strowman against Roman Reigns might probably be the main event. It's going to be a great match, because as much as people love to bash Roman, when it comes down to wrestle in the ring, he delivers every single time.
Yeah.
Except when he's paired with a guy that is probably 77 years old and can't move like Undertaker at WrestleMania.
That's not his fault.
But it's not his fault. He did the best he could. I wouldn't be able to carry my old grandfather in the ring.
Exactly.
First of all, because he's dead, and second of all, because you can't make miracles when you're in a guy that can barely walk anymore, like Taker.
That's right. Yeah.
It's sad, but he should have retired 10 years ago.
I said he should have retired when the streak was over.
Yeah, you should, but he didn't, and he sucked for 4 pay-per-views in a row.
Right.
And he made Roman Reigns look like a fool at WrestleMania, having trying to carry him.
That's too bad, eh?
So it sucks. But Roman tonight, now he's in the ring with a guy that can move.
Tonight, Roman's going to win.
Oh, I think tonight, Roman can handle a loss, and I think that if they want,
I think he's going to win.
To really push Braun Strowman as the next big thing,
well, yeah.
he has to not only win, he has to destroy Roman Reigns tonight.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
He has to win convincingly.
Yeah.
And destroy him.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my prediction, a bold one, that won't happen because WWE Creative sucks.
Well, we'll see.
But I think that Braun will destroy Roman tonight, and then you can have rematches after that.
Well, yeah.
And Roman be on a quest like he's doubting himself or whatever.
Right.
Of course, it would make a lot of sense. You beat Undertaker, it's his yard, and now he's doubting himself. But whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a good match.
Yeah.
To have Braun dominate him and beat him.
Be incredible. Yeah.
Not pin him 1, 2, 3. Just have the referee stop the match, like you have in UFC. That kind of guy can't defend himself anymore.
Wow.
That'd be something.
That'd be incredible. Yeah.
That would be great. And then you have the man, the myth, the legend, Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh yeah.
Against the Destroyer.
Yes, sir.
So you got the King Slayer against the Destroyer.
Samoa Joe.
And I think there's going to be one absolutely ass-kicking match.
Yes, definitely.
And I think that at this point right now, Samoa Joe can't afford to lose.
No.
He has to remain undefeated for a while.
He has to win. Yeah.
So it's going to be underhanded. It's going to be he probably cheat. Might have some interference from I don't know whom, maybe Stephanie McMahon or Triple H. But I think that Joe's going to win. I think Joe's going to win tonight.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. Yeah.
Because Seth can afford to lose. He just beat Triple H at WrestleMania.
Right.
So a loss here wouldn't hurt him that much.
Well, no. Exactly, and Joe has to keep on winning, of course. Yeah.
Or that would be a good idea, maybe to have a double DQ or something like that. So the next match would be an I Quit match or whatever cage match.
Yeah, because the next pay-per-view for Raw is Extreme Rules.
Yeah, well then we got it.
Yeah, that's it.
Then I changed my mind, and I think it's going to end in count out or whatever.
Yeah.
And the next time they're going to fight, Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Because it's just the start of the feud.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So I think there you have it. That's about the card. You got the women's match.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Can you talk about it?
Bailey against Alexa Bliss.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love Alexa Bliss, by the way.
I think Bailey's going to win.
Yeah, I think she's going to win. I think it's too soon. Bliss just made the roster.
Yeah.
But she's very good on the mic.
She's very good.
As much as in the ring, she doesn't impress me. But I think that she's very, very good on the mic. She's probably the best on the mic in the company.
For the women, yeah.
For the women, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean it. I think she's good. I think she's got that little vibe of Harley Quinn in her, and she's pretty cool. I like her.
Me too.
And she's also very good woman outside the ring. I follow her on Twitter and Facebook. She's cool, very cool.
Well, that's nice, yeah.
Very cool person.
Yeah.
So I think Bailey's going to win, but I think it's going to be just the beginning of the feud between the two of them.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So I think that's about the card, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's about what the card is. And, if you have more comments, you can leave them at my Twitter, at @DumbGhostHunter.
Yeah.
And like I said before in the start of the podcast, for anybody that thinks that Dean Ambrose is lazy, check his body of work over the past 5 years.
Exactly.
The amount of house show matches he's headlined. And
incredible, yeah.
He's not lazy.
No.
You can not like Dean Ambrose, but you can't say he's lazy.
No.
So that's my point. Dean is not lazy.
Well, no. Obviously not.
So and I can't wait to see. Oh my God, we forgot the match that I'm the most excited about. Neville, the best wrestler in the world right now.
Oh, that's right.
Against Austin freaking Aries. I think it's going to be a show-stealing match, man.
It's going to be better than WrestleMania.
Oh yeah. I think Neville's going to win.
I think Aries is going to win.
You know what? I think Neville's going to remain undefeated for a year and a half or 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I think they're going to give him the biggest push. I would probably see a guy like Ricochet or, Will Ospreay beating him.
Wow.
That down the road.
Wow.
But I think that for now, Neville remains undefeated.
Well, we'll see.
Untouchable. The king of the cruiserweights.
It's going to be a great match. It could be a show stealer.
It will be a show stealer. If they allow them at least 25 minutes, it's going to be a wonderful match because Aries can go.
Yeah.
And Neville is, I'm repeating myself, but Neville is the absolute best in the world. And right now, at this point, if we had to give the WWE award for the rest of the year, would be him. Do you agree?
Yeah. Definitely.
Dave Meltzer said it on his podcast, I think 2 weeks ago, that the best wrestler of the year thus far in the WWE is Neville.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And I agree 100%. He's absolutely incredible on the mic. Who would have thought? And in the ring, he's just killing it.
Yeah.
And now he's got his new lackey, TJ Perkins, that I really love. And makes a good pairing, you know. He's got his little kid trying to do his bidding. It's weird when you think about it that TJ is older than Neville.
Exactly, not a kid.
Because TJ is 33 and Neville is 30.
Yeah.
So it's funny because Neville looks older and TJ looks 20 years old, even though he's been wrestling for 17 years.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's incredible. I love to know what fountain of youth he found. So that's the question here, TJP. TJP, tell us, what you eat or which fountain of youth you fell in, so we can all jump in the same fountain and look like we're 20 years old, even though we're not 20 years old anymore.
Exactly.
So that's the big thing. Everybody on Twitter, let's hashtag TJ Perkins. Where is your fountain of youth?
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
All right, everyone. So have a great pay-per-view, and hopefully, we'll do a podcast later on this week to recap. Yeah. Payback is going to be a great show. Very excited about it.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody. Enjoy WWE Payback on the WWE Network for only
$9.99
and $11.99 here in Canada.
That's right.
Have a good evening, everybody.